you look at it this way, you got 365 days a year. If you study an hour, like when I went through the MS program, you study an hour a day, maybe an hour and 15 minutes a day. Then when you get home at night, 5 minutes, and you do that every day religiously, 6 days a week. Take one day off. And then if there's a day and it's raining outside and it's your day off and your loved one is busy doing something else, maybe study a couple extra hours.
Okay.
Then you're going to get 50 weeks a year, 6 to 7 hours of studying. You're going to be 50 times 7, 350 hours.
Yeah.
The person who's going to ruin their life by taking 4 months off and then try to study 4 hours a day,
right?
They're going to get about 180 hours. They almost have less time studying.
And more stress.
No one listens to me.
I love that. I'm Jennifer Egbert. We're at Porchlight Realty here in Boulder, and I have the very great honor of being able to have Bobby Stuckey here with us today. I can't believe you guys have been open for 15 years.
Yeah.
So Bobby is the co-owner,
yeah,
with Lachlan Mackinnon of Frasca Food Wine, Tavernetta, Pizzeria Locale, and they are opening this fall.
Sunday Vinyl.
Vinyl.
And our partner, Peter Hoagland.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah. And I love that you named it Sunday Vinyl because you guys do your Sunday Vinyl routine.
Exactly. We missed it last Sunday because we were traveling, so we're already queued up for this Sunday.
Okay. What are you playing?
I can't say.
We have to wait until find out. Yeah. So that's awesome. So what's your favorite record that you guys play?
I think Danette and I would have different favorite records for sure. Okay. So I got to get a lot of approval with her because Sundays are definitely, we try to meet it in the middle, but I think maybe in the last 6 months, the best Sunday vinyl we've had is definitely maybe some Miles Davis.
Yeah.
If that's something between the two of us. On Saturdays when she's at Max and I'm getting ready for service.
Yeah.
It's a definitely different vinyl program around the house. Might be 80s punk rock or something like that. But very specific punk rock, from 1977.
Who would it be?
To 85. Depends. If it's LA, early 80s punk rock would maybe be X.
Yeah.
Social D.
Yeah.
Maybe Meat Puppets, giving a nod to.
Which I've been listening to a lot again lately.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Phoenix Band.
Yeah, totally.
So my mom likes to remind me, Bobby, they made it out of Brophy Jesuit school. You got kicked out. Thanks, Mom.
They graduated.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with being kicked out of school.
No.
Nothing wrong with not going to college.
Different detours. Yeah.
It's true. So I feel like I've known you guys since you stepped foot into Boulder, and why I wanted to have you here today is because I work, in the service industry and in the luxury realm. And I really loved your TED Talk about hospitality. I thought that was incredible. And really, I look at who you guys brought in from the get-go, bringing in Rose Vada, and she was at the Little Nell, correct?
Yeah. She and I have worked together since 1996.
Because you were up at the Little Nell.
Yeah.
And were you the master sommelier up there?
I was the wine director, yeah. It was before I'd passed the MS,
Gotcha.
But I was the wine director for the hotel. And then, so we worked together on the dining room floor there, and
And she was kind of known.
She was great. I mean, literally, for us to get her to come down to be a server for us was really a coup because, it was, let's just say slim pickings when we started. It was really... We were doing something that
Slim pickings for food in Boulder, too.
I don't want to say that, but for us staffing it, it was wild.
Yeah.
It was, we had someone on work release from a jail. We had, it was we were going to do something that hadn't been done yet. Mm-hmm. And they're just, we were really lucky. Nate Reddy came with us from the French Laundry.
That's right.
Brendan Sodikoff came a week later, who also worked with us. They were 2 weeks in. So that was helpful. And then, Matt Mather was on the opening team, and Matt and Rose are still there.
And you've I mean, I tell people this all the time about you because this is my impression. This isn't like something Bobby told me. But my impression of you is you are so supportive of helping people create careers. Because Matt, I remember when he was serving at the kitchen.
Yeah.
And, I mean, what was he going to do later? And now I see that you have like career servers. You've created sommeliers. You've helped people open restaurants that are successful. It's really incredible because I don't know that often that happens for people.
Well, it should happen
all the time. I agree.
I think if people are going to work for you, you need to be invested in them as humans.
Yeah.
And our industry deserves to have a professionalism, and it should be treated as a craft. Everything fights against our industry to be a craft. I mean, as I tell my employees, welcome to an industry where someone, either your best friend or your loved one or your loved one's mom, someone in your direct solar system is going to hate what you do. And they're like, really? I'm like, oh yeah, just wait. Someone's going to hate the hours you keep. I go, it's just not fair. It's not equitable, but that's what it is. Yeah. And people don't realize the industry is already hard, but it's also really hard because there's someone that loves you, hates it.
Yeah.
And so we try as a company, Peter, Laughlin, and I, and the management team to create the most professional hospitality environment we can.
Yeah.
And we really work on trying to mentor people. If they're going to leave us, we're going to try to really help them get to the next step. And that's really important.
It's really important. And what I also like about the culture that you've created, and I don't know if you remember this conversation, but you want everybody to come into the restaurant. And I remember I sent in some clients of mine years ago. It must have been over a decade ago, maybe in the first couple of years that you guys opened. And they were sitting, it was when the table was over before the remodel.
Yeah.
And that big table,
the
salumi
table, yeah.
And they were sitting up there and they had full tats, and t-shirts and jeans and stuff. And you came up to me and you go, oh my God, your clients are here, because we happened to be there the same night and it was, just happenstance. And you said, and it's so cool that you sent them in here. We want everybody to come in here and feel welcome.
Yeah, of course.
And that blew me away.
And that's, it's our home. So you want people to be in your home.
Yeah. And it reminds me of, I think there was a parallel, to the sense of like how the Waverly kind of wants to stay open for the West Village.
Yeah.
It's in the West Village, right? Where they're, and they want to make sure that there's still a neighborhood vibe. And yet, you've served some pretty, famous people in the restaurant, and, and that could be something that people might perceive as being too good for them or whatever. But there's no vibe like that at Frasca.
We really, our mission statement that's written in our mission statement that we came up with while we were like choosing plates for the restaurant when we were working on this with Nate and Lachlan and Danette was, we want to be the greatest neighborhood restaurant in the world. Mm-hmm. So we had worked at the Laundry. The 2 years it had been voted #1 restaurant in the world. And we're like, that is amazing. We're so lucky that we got to be part of that with Thomas and Laura. But we always wanted to be a neighborhood restaurant. And then people go, well, you guys have evolved to a fine dining restaurant. And I said, yes, that's true. But restaurants need to keep evolving. Any business needs to keep improving. And you can improve and add touches and add finesse pieces and build a better kitchen and all these things and still be available for the community in a neighborhood situation. Like last night, people used this for all different occasions. Mm-hmm. We had a couple in that had their 15th anniversary. We had a couple in that had their 33rd anniversary. We had a couple in that were celebrating a new job. We had 2 friends in that the girl was bringing her friend in and he was moving to New York for a new job to celebrate. At the same time, we had a couple at the bar just having a plate of salumi and a glass of wine because they just needed a break. Their kid was at swim practice or gymnastics and they had an hour free.
They had a date.
Yeah. They squeezed it up at the bar. So that's how we kind of hope our restaurant gets utilized every day.
Well, I mean,
from special occasions to, oh my God, I have an hour free.
Yeah. And you can walk in on any given night and see people that you know at the bar dining, like they're, and that's cool too. Like it does give it that more casual, welcome feeling when you walk in, because the dining room's so beautiful, and I love that you have all the glass up front and you can see it from outside and stuff.
Thank you.
But even for Mother's Day, when James was dressed up as the Grand High Witch, that was so cool because everybody was so welcoming to her. And she was, I think, 7 at the time.
Yeah, maybe.
And so it was like, it didn't, it doesn't feel like you can't have a kid in there, but I'm sure people wouldn't be bringing their kids into late service. Just,
Oh, yeah, there's kids all the time.
Do they?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Because, you got people from all over. Like, people will be here. They're, Venezuelans on vacation visiting friends that live here. And, South Americans tend to eat later. Yeah. Their kids are great.
I love it. I mean, and the thing that I love that I hope I'm not like exposing a secret. If I am, let me know and we'll cut it out. But what I love is that you guys research all your clients that are coming in the night of pre-service, right?
So what we do is we do a little research, but we do 2 things. Okay. One, it's amazing how much information that's useful that's given to us from the guests. So let's say if you're talking on the phone and Iceland, our host, is talking to someone on the phone and they go, oh, we're flying in from, is it a special occasion?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Everyone really wants to tell you about their special occasion. So it's really easy. They just say, hey, yeah, it's we got a job promotion, or I'm here for a meeting, or no, it's not a special occasion. I'm here for a meeting. I'm flying in from the East Coast. So any of those things, we call that mining for information.
Okay.
And so we'll collect all that information. Sometimes like last night, we had 19 tables. We did 2 turns. So we had 38 reservations going through pre-service. We had maybe 4 tables that we had no notes, meaning they haven't been in before. Mm-hmm. There are new guests that didn't give us any information. So it's still only 10% of the tables we didn't have any info on.
Wow.
And
that's great.
Yeah, because that's like 4 tables out of 40. That's 10%. So 90% of them we had some information on. Either they're repeat guests or they were very voluntary to the info that they gave, or someone else made a reservation for us and said, hey, this like we had a couple in from Los Angeles that worked at a restaurant that I love, Republique. So their wine director emailed me for the reservation. And so that's how you mine for the information.
Yep.
And then we call it, once you get the dots, you collect the dots, you got to connect them.
Yep.
And so then we'll sit in
the internet. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah. And then we also think about things that they're not thinking of.
Yeah.
Let's say if you flew in and you've got a business dinner and you're all from New York and you have an 8 o'clock reservation.
Yeah.
And we can't squeeze you in earlier because we have another seating ahead of that. We want to pay attention to how they feel before they know how they feel.
Oh, okay.
Because
explain that.
Because I travel for business, and so I try to explain this to my staff because they don't travel for business.
Right.
Like if I'm out traveling for Scarpetta and I'm working all day with my sales rep and all that, and then I have to go to dinner with them. Now I've been with someone. Sure, you're at dinner and that's nice, but really you just want to be back at your hotel room checking emails and calling your wife.
Right. Because you're fried.
Fried, and you've been with these people for 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours.
Yeah.
And now you're at a dinner. So what we do is we take that information that I know, how I feel at that, and guess how a business dinner might feel. And say, okay, guys, my staff, they've never been on business dinners like that. But how would an East Coast group feel that's been in meetings all day? We couldn't get them in at 6 because we didn't have any reservations at that time. It's an 8 or an 8:30.
So it's 10:30 their time.
10:30 their time. We're going to immediately, the whole chain of command through the whole restaurant is, we got to move this.
Yeah.
And we might jump.
Like, so they're not there at 1 a.m.
Yeah. And so they don't even know that we're, in running, you run the tangents of the road. We're just going to run the tangents for it. So it's not like they're running a different course.
Right.
But we're going to cut little.
Here's and there.
Yeah. We'll have the expediter pay attention to where that ticket is to make sure it moves faster.
That's awesome.
We try. I mean, we don't always get it right, but that's what we really try.
I mean, nobody's perfect, but to be able to have that in your headspace to like always be anticipating what the client wants, and you're dealing with probably if you have 40 tables.
Yeah, 18 to 19 at once because we have 18 tables, 19 tables plus the bar and stuff.
I mean, that's a lot of people to be navigating. Have you ever had a situation where you're just like, oh my God, we're dropping the ball so much right now?
Every night.
Yeah.
Every night.
Yeah.
We're human.
Yeah.
Our guests are human.
Yeah.
And the restaurant business is 100% a business that you want to be able to control, but you have no control. I'll give you a great example.
Okay.
I got a text today for a reservation tomorrow night. I know how this is going to go down. It's a great human being.
Somebody you know, so they texted
Very
yourself.
well known.
Yep.
Hey, Bobby, I'm not going to say blank. His wonderful wife made a reservation. Could only get a 5:30. Can we get a 7?
Right.
Let me check. So I checked. No, I don't have a 7. Well, first of all, we don't have a 7.
Right.
This person's been dining here 15 years, knows we don't have a 7.
Right.
Or forgets, but great human. I can't get you in at 7 because if you think about it, if a table gets seated at 5:30 and a 5 top is going to take 2.5 hours to dine, the earliest we can get the next table down is 8 o'clock. That's just how it is.
Yeah. There's not, the turnover isn't in between.
Yeah.
You're not,
So there's not really a 7 o'clock reservation ever. But I love my mom. She had a wonderful 8:30 60th birthday.
Yeah.
Meaning she wanted a 7. No, you're a big top. You're going to be at 8:30. That's just how it is. You can't. So this, I emailed back.
I mean, but let's pause right there because Bobby just said, I love my mom, but, and it's true because from the get-go, you've been on reservations and you guys have really stuck to that.
Yeah. Well, we have as much flexibility as you have, but you can't only do one turn on a weekend. And
so you have to keep it.
If guests understood, like, hey, if you had a 7 o'clock, that really means that table's not getting rebooked.
Yeah.
Because if that guest at 7 wants to have their perfect experience,
right,
that means they're going to get done at 9:30. Boulder doesn't have a lot of 5 tops walking around at 9:30 for a reservation.
I mean, they're like going to bed.
And they would be really upset if they had that 7 o'clock and I put a table at 5:30 and they got done at 8 and they had to wait an hour. So it just really doesn't happen.
Right.
So this person was emailing and he goes, okay, well, we'll keep the 5:30. We might not be able to get there until 6:15 is what the text says to me. I'm like, where do you
I can
not
see what's
understand?
going on here.
That's 45 minutes after the reservation.
Yeah.
Bless their heart. They're like, I don't think we'll just keep that. But because I said, maybe we can get you in at 8:15 or something. That's too late.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Some people's esophagus only really works between 7 and 7:45. And so here's something I'm trying to control.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be great to them.
Yeah.
But them showing up at 6:15
throws everybody off, right?
And they're telling me they're going to do that. We probably have 4 other tables that are going to do the same thing. So what's going to happen is here we are trying to do the best that we possibly can. We love these people. They probably will show up at 6:15. And so that means hit go time at 6:15. The table's already booked for tomorrow night.
And it's got to turn at 8 or 7:50.
We have it they're booked at 5:30, so we have it 5 top would be 4 top and below we do 2 hours and 15 minutes to 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
5 and above we do 2:45 to 3. So we're looking at that's an 8:15, 8:30 table. What are we gonna do?
I know.
So we have no control.
Yeah.
So we make mistakes all the time because even though we're trying our hardest, or it might not be them trying to show up at 6:15, but I don't know if you've driven 36 lately. There's some traffic.
I refuse.
Yeah, there's someone could be coming in. And it's not their fault. They're late, or so many things happen.
Yeah. Well, and so the thing that's so interesting too is you're not just doing this at one restaurant. I mean, there are now how many restaurants just in the Denver Boulder area?
Well, Pizzeria Locale, and each one has different reservation needs and grids.
Yes.
I mean, PL Boulder, That's more of an hour and 15-minute turn
Yeah.
time. So you can move things around a little bit. And then there, we don't really take that many reservations between 6:30 and 8 on
Yeah.
the weekends. Kind of leave that all for walk-ins.
Yeah.
Also,
And
'cause-
everybody knows, I will tell you though, like, I mean, everybody knows who we are when we walk in. It's so nice. And
we try our hardest.
it's so cool. Like, I just think that's incredible. And so I like the story of, and I think this is good for people too who are watching, who are starting businesses, because I love the way that you guys came in Boulder and what you did. And what I thought was really genius is you went in and you GM'd Mateo for a year.
9 months, pretty much from November to May. 9 months.
That restaurant was full during that time.
Well, I don't know if it was because I just happened to be there at that moment, but and it wasn't a plan. I cannot take a genius for that because I did not plan that. It was, we got here. I bless Danette's heart. I told her that Nate and Laughlin were going to be with us for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I thought I had another space lined up.
Yeah.
It fell through. I didn't have a
Gotcha.
space. Brett Zimmerman at the time was still a partner at Mateo.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Mateo and Brett said, "Hey, could you do some consulting? Kind of.
Yeah.
Do you want to?" And I said, "Great, I'll do that, but let me work the floor, and I'll be very transparent with anyone that I'm there. That I'm going to open a restaurant whenever I get to." And we did a couple of slow food dinners for them.
Yep.
Where Lachlan and I and Danette and Nate did the dinner, and they got all the proceeds, and they rocked it. And we were allowed to do all that work. We were allowed to take everyone's emails. Like, we had to, like, Danette would walk around with an email sign-up sheet.
That's kind of incredible.
And then, so when we opened, we didn't have a PR firm or anything, which is us. We just sent
Well,
email to everybody.
you guys were your own PR firm at that time. I mean, because I remember when you opened, then you had reservations already set, and that was really cool. And I think that, like, I don't know what you would call that. Like, for us, I think, like, if in real estate, it would be a thing like you're going in and you're working for a big team for a little while and getting established, and then moving on to your own thing. And
100%.
Yeah, and it's cool.
It's probably more common.
collaborative.
It's more common in your industry, probably.
I think so. I mean, I think it's more like well thought out, because if you are the individual and then you go, oh, okay, how do I, like, if I were to move to Malibu, I know who I would want to go work with, and I would work my ass off for them to do the thing. But, I think, like, if you want to break into that market that you want to be doing. So then now you've raised up these James Beard Award winners, you and Laughlin have, because Laughlin's not in the kitchen anymore.
No, well, we have, like, multiple different businesses, and we found out probably about 3 years ago. Yeah, about 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
We weren't doing a great job at one thing. We were trying to do everything.
All the things.
And we used to always travel, the two of us together. We still travel together, but we used to do every sales trip for Scarpetta together.
Right.
And
Scarpetta is your wine label.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Scarpetta is the wine that we started in 2007.
Yep.
And, we're in 50 states. So if every
Incredible.
distributor wants to see the partners at least once a year, that's 50 days of travel. It's 1 day a week. So what we've really divided is Laughlin oversees all the logistics for Scarpetta, which is over a 70,000 case winery. He oversees that. And then he oversees Pizzeria Locale 2.0, the fast casual ones.
Gotcha.
And then I work with the teams at Frasca, Original PL, Tavernetta, and what will be Sunday Vinyl.
Okay.
And then he utilizes me for, like, Scarpetta. He will say, okay, here's your 40 days this year. Mm-hmm. And he literally,
these 40 days.
I need you these 40 days in these markets.
And are you going in and training the staff?
No, usually what they use me for is, like, just old school wine distribution sales.
Gotcha.
Like, go work with a distributor and things like that.
Interesting. So now, and you brought in a chef.
Yeah, two. They're
Two
co-chefs.
chefs, right.
They're a couple. Kelly and Eduardo.
And where were they before?
They were at Orsone in Friuli.
Gotcha.
But before that, they were at Del Posto and 11 Madison Park in New York.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So explain to everybody what 11 Madison Park is.
So 11 Madison Park, Daniel Hume's restaurant. That was that's where Kelly worked after she left Del Posto, and it was voted #1 restaurant in the world.
Yep.
And it's great. And then Kelly was there, and she and Eduardo met at Del Posto, which was Joe Bastianich and Mario's like super.
Are they the ones
high-end.
who came in and did a pop-up restaurant at Locale a year ago or so? Who was that?
No, we have had a couple, but we've had like Mark Vetri, we've had Chris Bianco, we've had.
I think it was Chris Bianco.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And so was it hard to lure them to Boulder?
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, this is if you're a New York chef.
Yeah. At the best restaurant in the world.
Yeah, like or in Friuli or wherever. It's just like there's a different vibe here.
Yeah.
So you've got to hopefully they like the vibe.
Yeah.
Boulder's a different city.
Lifestyle, and it's not as cool but people come here, I think, and they fall in love with the lifestyle of it.
I always hope so. Yeah.
Right? That's so crazy. So on top of running umpteen restaurants and a staff of how many now? Probably 100,
200.
250?
200 something, yeah.
Wow,
200 like
that's
that.
incredible. How do you do free time?
Well, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky that I have a partner in life, Danette, my wife.
She's a trooper.
She's a trooper, and she's wired to have a husband that works in restaurants because she's like the biggest night owl in the world.
Perfect.
Like we joke, like I still get to bed earlier than she does, and I work at night. There's only about
She's got shit to do.
There's only about 2 nights a year
Yeah.
that she's in bed before me. Like I could come home at 1:00, shower, have my decompress anchor steam beer, listen to some music, and then go to bed. She's still later than me.
No. She's like my hero.
Yeah,
of
she's
humans.
she's a different being for sure. She's so awesome. But that's very helpful for me.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know when we met that her biological clock would be so great for someone in the restaurant business.
Right.
So that helps. And she also is very understanding of our industry. She spent a long time working in it with us.
She's kind of a face of the restaurant.
Yeah.
For sure. Like she's in there.
Yeah. She used to be a lot more so, but she's now working on creative things that she wants to do. But she's very supportive of and encouraging of.
Yeah.
She thinks it's totally okay to work 70 hours a week.
Yeah.
For me.
That's
She's
like normal.
Hey, yeah. And most people aren't that lucky in my industry to have people be that supportive for
Especially
her.
people that you're married to.
Yes.
Yeah. I totally get it. I mean, and then you're running.
Yep. I like running. Yep.
Kind of a big runner.
I like running. Big size-wise, yeah. Like 180 pounds. That's big for a runner.
Yeah. A few marathons,
Try to do one a year.
Qualified to New York and Boston. You did Grandma's this year.
Yep. I did Grandma's. Awesome. I loved it. It was a great time.
Super pretty up there.
But I think in our industry, and I've been a proponent of this for over 25 years, is that you need to have something outside the restaurant industry that is yours.
Yeah.
That is important to you, is inspirational to you, inspiring to you, and hopefully healthy for you.
Yeah.
Because our industry is not always set up that way.
Right.
And I've been a proponent of this literally for 25 years because I saw as a young age in my 20s, I thought, this is an industry I love. I hope I can do this forever. How am I going to set myself up to have longevity in an industry that historically has not had a lot of longevity?
Yeah, like no burning out, no drug addiction.
Yeah, try to stay away from that stuff.
It's kind of, they're bad for you, apparently. I mean, if you weren't in the restaurant industry, what do you think you'd be doing? I mean, you're kind of doing it. You're starting a new career.
Yeah, if I was in the restaurant industry, if I had a chance to do anything else, I think I would be a high school history teacher and a high school cross-country coach.
Awesome.
That's what I would do. That's what I would be into doing.
That's awesome.
Because I think I don't have children, but I have a lot of children, meaning a lot of...
You're raising up a lot of adults. And
I think that time in life, you could every year positively affect a lot of young people.
Yeah.
Through, being either a teacher and then being a cross country coach because I think, I grew up with cross country and track and like I was a punk rock nerd, got kicked out of Jesuit school and all that. And I think cross country is a great sport for kids who don't fit into normal high school lanes.
Yeah. I was track and my coach is like, I'm still in communication with he and his family and they were awesome.
Yeah. That's what I would do if I was in the restaurant business.
That's awesome. Big school or little school?
Whoever would give me a job.
Whoever would take you.
Yeah.
Who would you say have been some of the most influential people in your life? And I bet you I could name one of them.
My mom.
Yeah.
My mom and dad both, like separately, but like they're both super positive. They're super encouraging.
Super dynamic.
And talk about forces of nature, both of them.
She's like a bullet.
Yeah. I mean, look, the
Linda,
lady,
you're a bullet.
Yeah. I mean,
she's
amazing. I mean, the lady has fought cancer, 5 different cancers, not cancer 5 times, 5 different cancers. And
I used to see her and Larry walk. She was doing chemo and walking around the block.
Yeah. Usually with like a huge stick that she was doing lunges with.
Yeah.
I saw that once going around to Wonderland Lake. I was like, who is this little thing? I was like, oh, that's my mom. What are you doing?
I love her.
She's like, I'm getting my lunges in. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Like, okay, Mom.
So she 100% really, both of them very, very inspirational.
And only Larry could like deal with Linda.
Yeah.
Like he's the most laid back, cool.
Yeah. Just
like cool toned.
Yeah.
Happy,
very positive. He's unipolar. Some people are bipolar. He's unipolar. And strong ice cream game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That he makes? Or
no,
eats?
This is the weird deal.
Okay.
Might happen tomorrow night. He would just, without telling us, will show up after gardening in his community garden here. He will show up with these grocery store bags.
I love
of
it.
like, because on Saturday we might have like 90 employees working like between all the shifts.
Yeah.
Like the lunch team at PL, dinner team at PL, Frasca team, Saturday, a lot of people there. And he knows when we have pre-service, he'll start in, he won't tell me, I won't even know what's happening. He will walk into PL, have a beer, give everybody a Klondike bar.
Get out.
It's a true story. Walk through the kitchen, hand everyone dishwashers, everyone a Klondike bar, then come sit for a bit. And I don't know what is the moment he's bored, but he'll listen to pre-service for a little bit. I'll like be up on the bar stool talking to the team, about to go into notes. And all of a sudden, and so he'll have another beer.
Yeah.
And then he'll leave. And he'll walk out without saying bye. Like all of a sudden, this guy's like in
checking
shorts,
up on you.
Like, see, Dad. Doesn't say bye. Just walks out. Doesn't want to interrupt pre-service. Has his 2 beers, but has distributed 90 some Klondike bars. And I always love like the new employee because my folks aren't here in the winter. So let's say if you started in January and you're working in the pizzeria as a pizzeria chef, and you're in the back prepping, and it's like.
And you're
June,
being really serious.
And this guy walks by. They don't know who he is. And he's like kind of like disheveled from the garden. He's been gardening all day. He's like in T-shirt and shorts. And they're like,
maybe homeless.
Maybe homeless. They're like, no, that's not a homeless person. That's the owner's dad. Just take a Klondike bar. I mean, the whole thing has some wild optics.
I love it.
And like with a beer in his hand, the whole thing is like classic. So very inspirational. But he is always positive. Like
he really is. Like they're incredible. Like the day that they were deciding to buy their house, like it couldn't have been more perfect. Where we walked in and they've got that incredible view looking north. And it was like in the fall. So it was all yellow and gorgeous and the sun was out. And then all of a sudden it started snowing like huge flakes and all those windows are right there. And he was like, damn it, Jen. You like, it couldn't have been a more perfect moment.
Yeah.
It was like,
I mean, every day's a perfect moment for him. He's like,
he was like,
it was like 90 degrees the other day. He's like, this is so much better than Phoenix. I'm like, Dad, it's really hot right now. He's like,
it's like
yeah, but it'd be 110 in Phoenix.
He's an optimist. He's going to live to be 150.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That is awesome.
Yeah. He's so those are 2 really inspirational people for him.
Yeah. And your family is really dynamic.
We all have different ticks.
But like really big ticks. It's really cool.
It's fun stuff. And we all get along and it's good stuff.
That's awesome. And then What would you say? Well, and you said Danette is working on her own stuff
Yeah,
right now.
she's like, she makes some jewelry, she's meditating on some handbags. Yeah.
Bags.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I think she's
Danette,
like taking a break from that right now, but I'm not really allowed to know everything that's going on with that.
The secret of creative.
Creative people.
I love that.
Yeah.
And Lachlan, so Lachlan is out there kind of like, is he setting up the kitchens?
No, he like oversees Pizzeria Locale 2.0. So we have 2 of those in Denver, the fast casual. We're going to have 2 more this year.
Okay.
So that's everything from real estate, finding the real estate, making sure the systems are in place, and then running Scarpetta, which is a huge business in its own.
It's
like, I could not do that. I'm not wired to deal with all those distributors and make sure the logistics of wine.
You're the people person.
People person, and also other types of operations things.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good at doing the operations, but I have no interest in wanting to know how 5,000 cases of Prosecco is going to get from Friuli to Livorno to Fond du Lac in New Jersey, Fond du Lac
to everywhere else.
To DC.
Right.
That I have no interest in figuring that out.
Yeah.
And Lachlan loves that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he is like...
He likes things where numbers get bigger and bigger and bigger and more confusing.
I remember when he was talking about opening, when we were talking about when you guys opened Locale, and the choice to go with less expensive dishes so that you could bring in the mozzarella.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's brilliant.
Yeah. He thinks in that way.
That's brilliant.
He likes all the...
And it was something that people are going to notice the experience of the food over the experience of the dish, I think. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That's so cool. On a scale of 1 to 10, how weird are you?
12. 100%.
Totally.
100%.
And you own it.
Yeah. Look. A lot of people like to pretend to be weird, like to dress weird or do things and just act. I'm just authentically just weird.
Just a weirdo.
Yeah. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And I don't have to put a sticker on me about it. Everyone who's like really close to me.
Yeah.
Like,
we all know it.
All know it. Yeah. And I'm not going to try to hide it and try to be normal,
Yeah. What's something that you think you're not very good at?
Oh, the list is huge. We'd have to really curate that.
Okay.
There's so many things I'm not good at.
Anything that
technology. Not good at technology.
You don't have to be.
Questionable.
I mean, listen, you're a relationships person, and it's what we talk about in real estate all the time. Like every time, even right now, as the recession is kind of looming, like it's a thing. Like people are like, well, how are you going to be recession proof? And it's like those relationships that you maintain that keep your business going. So you don't have to be.
Yeah, no one's
tech savvy.
Great at everything.
No.
So I'm horrible at technology. Not very handy. Not very handy at all. Matter of fact, one of my biggest fights ever with my wife was at a Home Depot 20 years ago. Biggest arguments ever. I took a photo of that Home Depot last time I was in Napa consulting for American Airlines. Sent it to her, yeah. I've not been in a Home Depot since Matt Mather called me when he worked at the kitchen 2 weeks or a month before we opened Frasca, wondering if there was a position available, and I was in a Home Depot. I still remember the call. I said, oh my God, I would love to have Matt come work for us. Let me get this call. And I don't think I've been back in a Home Depot since. I'm not set up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there was a joke. I heard my wife making fun of me to the team at Frasca yesterday about my inability to change the battery on the garage door opener.
Yeah.
And that's just not my specialty. So I have a lot
of things.
And
that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's all right. What would you say, what would be one common myth that you would debunk about the restaurant industry, about owning a restaurant?
I'm always amazed. Like last night I was bussing tables in the restaurant and a guest asked what's wrong? I was like, what do you mean what's wrong? They're like, you're the owner of all these restaurants and you're bussing tables. And it's just a business.
Oh, because you're out there on the floor?
Yeah. People think that it's like a dinner party at your house and they don't understand that that's the fun part the busing. There's so many things that go on. I mean, I think one of the biggest myths, and people just don't understand this, is, look, this is a great Larry Stuckey, like, analogy. He's like...
Larry Stuckey being your dad, yeah.
He's like, think about it. If you... Oh, look, he's texting me right now.
His ears are burning.
Yeah. Well, I got to see this.
Yep, no worries.
Oh, my God. This is what he just texted me. I've had 50 years of trying to find the answer, but I still don't know. What do you want for your birthday? Love, Dad.
Oh, my God. That's like, I would get the same text from my mom.
Oh, my God.
She's like, I don't even try and buy you gifts anymore.
Okay, I'll check in with him on that later. But he was like, in your industry, if you make 10% profit, you are like a legend, Hall of Fame.
Wow.
If you are in any other industry and you're a CEO and you make 20% profit, you're fired. So if you think about to be in the Hall of Fame of our industry,
yeah,
very few people ever get to 10% profit.
Right.
Other industries, if you're clicking along at 20%,
yeah, it's not enough.
It's usually a management, top of the key management change. Like you might get 2 quarters.
Like your P&Ls are too high. And
like if you can't do 20% profit at a financial institution or whatever, you're screwed. You're done.
Yeah.
So we live at such a low profitability. It's so hard to make a living.
Yeah.
But to the guest, it looks
so rich, like
easy and all that, And so I think that's the biggest thing that people don't understand.
Yeah. Like the patrons, the experience that the patrons are having.
Yeah, even the employees don't understand. Like no one understands. Like most people can't imagine how expensive it is to provide that experience. And it's...
They're not looking at your P&Ls.
No.
Like that is a whole other thing. But that is an interesting kind of like diversion because you do have people who are creating careers for themselves out of what you've created, and your guys' career is different and evolving.
And I'm not complaining.
No.
I understand the industry I'm in.
Yeah.
But the question was, what is the biggest myth? That is 100% the biggest myth.
I think that's really important to know. I don't know how you convey that to staff and stuff, but I think it's one of those things that you always want to like have people understand.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. There's no way to do it. It's a no-win situation.
It is.
If you broadcast that too much, people think you're complaining.
Quit complaining. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to know, really. They just want to go out to dinner and have a good time on their rules.
Yeah.
It's like our industry is just like, it's everyone else's rules but ours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's so interesting. So tell me something that's true that almost nobody agrees with you about.
Okay, this is great. I always joke that no one listens to me. Mm-hmm. It is true that if you, like, let's say for the Master Sommelier degree, I think I've tried to mentor employees on this forever. No one listens to me. Right. Zero. There's 365 days a year. This is where my Virgo comes in. Mm-hmm. If you study, and let's say if you're going to study to be an MS.
Yeah.
What happens is most people, their lives get totally messed up from this exam because they're studying 3-4 hours a day and trying to go to work and doing all this. And then they get through an exam and it doesn't go the way they want and they take like 3 months off because they're just burnt out.
Before the exam?
Or like right after the exam, they just messed up.
Yep.
And they take 3 or 4 months off and they kind of procrastinate and then they study 3 hours a day, whatever. So if you look at it this way, you got 365 days a year. If you study an hour, like when I went through the MS program, you study an hour a day, maybe an hour and 15 minutes a day. Then when you get home at night, 5 minutes. And you do that every day, religiously, 6 days a week. Take 1 day off. And then if there's a day and it's raining outside and it's your day off and your loved one is busy doing something else, maybe study a couple extra hours.
Okay.
then you're going to get 50 weeks a year, 6 to 7 hours of studying. You're going to be 50 times 7, 350 hours.
Yeah.
The person who's going to ruin their life by taking 4 months off and then try to study 4 hours a day,
right,
they're going to get about 180 hours. They almost have less time studying.
And more stress.
No one listens to me on that.
I love that.
No one does. It's funny.
I love
Two
that.
guys came in because they're going to medical school that are in my running group. And he's like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but like you told me that once. And I did that for my MCATs and it worked perfectly. I'm like, wish my employees would listen to me. This guy's going to medical school and I can't even get my...
I mean, but that's perfection because it is the consistency of doing something a little bit every day is what makes you more of a master.
Yeah.
And we talk about mastery.
Yeah. And you can use that. Once you've done that, you can do that for any number of things. And 1 hour is not going to mess you up.
It's not going to kill you.
No. People are on Facebook for an hour a day.
Ugh. I have a timer on for my Instagram.
Yeah.
That if I'm on there for more than 30 minutes, it goes off.
Yeah.
And it just shuts it down.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be on social media all the time. But you're right. And that is that's profound. It's profound because people, you're right, won't listen.
No one
They're going to
listens.
make it harder than it needs to be. But it is that consistency that will make you a master at your craft.
Yeah. 1 hour a day.
I love it. Okay, we're going to stop right there because that was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
for
you.
being here.
Yeah.
Badass.
I love that my dad texted
I know, me
me.
too. Tell them I said hi.
I will.
They're awesome. So you guys, Bobby Stuckey, they're opening Sunday Vinyl this fall in Denver, correct?
Yes.
And where is it going to be at?
Right out the front door of Tavernetta. So
sweet.
Like literally you walk out the front door of Tavernetta. So Tavernetta is on the platform behind Union Station. Yep. Walk out the front door there, and that's where Sunday Vinyl will be.
More casual.
Yeah, it's just it's a wine bar. You know, it's got a menu, full menu, but more concise.
Good music.
I hope people like it. Music's can be divisive.
Sure. It can
music I like. I hope people dig it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks for having me.
Yep.